Assalamu alaikum. How are you learners? I'm Nadia Mughal. This is my third lecture, part 1, class 3, subject English language, topic the wooden bowl. Now learners, open your textbook page number 14. The story Wooden Bowl is based on four characters. Name of the characters are an old man Kurt, his son Manfred, his daughter-in-law Tekla, who is the wife of Manfred, and the son Wilhelm, son of Manfred and Tekla. So, learners, first of all, we will read word to know or vocabulary words. The first word is chisel, a metal tool used to cut and shape wood. Clumsy, lacking skills or grace. Awkward, complain, to say you are unhappy about something. Couple, two people who are married. Earned, received money for work done. Fetch, to go after and bring back something or somebody. Nod off, to go to sleep. Now let's start reading. Once upon a time, in a small town in Germany, there lived a man called Kurt. He lived with his son Manfred and his daughter-in-law Tekla. They all shared a little old house at the end of a quiet street in the middle of the town. Manfred was a carpenter and spent all his time in a workshop next to the house. He had learned carpentry from his father, who had been a famous carpenter in his days. Kurt had taught his son well, and the son earned a good living. He made furniture for the people of the town, and from time to time he did some carving. The young couple, Manfred and Tekla, had a son called Wilhelm. The boy liked to sit in the workshop and watch his father as he grew older. So, learners, in textbook page number 14, the writer writes the old man Kurt, Manfred, his wife Tekla, and their son Wilhelm. They lived in a small town in Germany. Manfred was a carpenter. He had learned carpentry from his father. Manfred made furniture and did some carving for people. Wilhelm, son of Manfred and Tekla, liked to sit in workshop and watch his father. He also helped his father to bring and carrying things. Textbook page number 15. He helped his father by fetching and carrying things. He learned to clean the tools and to take care of them. He learned how to use a saw and a chisel, a hammer and a chisel. And his grandfather taught him to carve wood into wonderful shapes. Wonderful means amazing. Fetching means bring. The grandfather was very old and now getting older every day. He was not very strong, his eyes were dim, and he could not see well. Sometimes his hands shook, and sometimes he sat in a chair and nodded off. In, this, in these two paragraphs, the writer writes Wilhelm the boy helped his father to bring and carrying things. He learned how to use tools like saw, hammer, and chisel. He had learned carving from his grandfather. The grandfather was very old and weak. He could not see well because of this. Manfred and Tekla used to get angry with old men and did not behave well. In the evenings, when they all sat down to dinner at the table, Manfred and Tekla used to get angry with the old grandfather. He was slow and clumsy. Sometimes he broke a glass, sometimes he dropped a spoon, and sometimes he spilled soap on his clothes. He was an old man after all. Paragraph number 4. One day during the evening meal, the old man dropped his plate on the floor. Crash! It smashed into 100 tiny pieces and the food fell all over the place. Tekla and Manfred began to clean up the floor. But how angry they were. Angry means furious. They were. After that accident, they bought him a cheap wooden bowl from the market and gave him his dinner in that. They made the old man sit by himself in the corner of the room to eat his food. So, learners, after that incident, one day during evening meal, a plate was dropped by the grandfather and crashed into small pieces. Tekla and Manfred began angry. After that accident, they bought him a cheap wooden bowl and gave him his dinner in that, and also made his separate sitting. There is a wooden bowl in the hand of old man. Uh, Come on the textbook page number 16. The old man was sad. He kept quiet and did not complain. One evening, long afterwards, Tekla and Manfred had finished work for the day and were preparing the evening meal. Finished mean completed. When the meal was ready, they called for Wilhelm. They looked in his room, but he was not there. After the finishing of their whole day work, they try to find out, or they try to search the Wilhelm, but they did not find him in his room. Where could that boy be? Asked Tekla. Manfred had no idea. He asked the old man if he had seen Wilhelm, but the old man shook his head. Tekla and Manfred became a little worried. Worried means tensed. They looked out on the street, but Wilhelm was not there. Then they saw a light in the workshop. They went to look. They stepped into the workshop and found their son sitting on the floor. He was cutting a small block of wood and working as hard as he could. Ah, there you are, said Tekla. What are you making, son? Asked Manfred. Wilhelm put down the block of wood and the chisel. He looked up at his parents. Block means piece, chisel blade for cutting. He looked up at his parents. I am making a wooden bowl for you to eat from when you are old, replied the boy. The parents looked at each other, their eyes filled with tears. Come, dinner is ready, said Tekla softly. Softly means gently, and she put her arms around her son, and the three of them went back to the house. After this, Tekla and Manfred always asked the old grandfather to sit with them and at table. So in these paragraphs, the writer writes, one day the boy went to the workshop silently and started to make a wooden bowl for his parents. His parents asked him, what are you making, the boy? What are you making? The boy replied, I am making a wooden bowl for you to eat from when you are old, or when you become old. Hearing this, his parents' eyes filled with tears. After this, Tekla and Manfred always asked the old man to sit with them at table, and their behavior with the old man become well or good. Okay, learners, Allah Hafiz.